Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City was a clear sign that Capcom needs to take this series behind a barn with a 12 gauge. From the get-go, Resident Evil Operation Squirrel's Titties feels like its predecessor SOCOM games, but instead of fighting your way through nameless terrorists, you fight your way through nameless zombies and bosses from the Resident Evil universe. All the major players are here, but the twist is you get to kill them with your contracted Umbrella Super Soldier led by Mr. Death, aka Hunky McBeefcake, aka that one guy from Resident Evil 2 that no one liked the minigame for. Now, while running through the streets of Coonville, you're often jumped by large amounts of undead and twice as many undead copies of your teammates who contracted the infection, faster than a ditch digger around the bubonic plague. You were initially sent to find Dr. Jerkengurken, who has injected himself with the Mr. T virus so he can no longer pity the fool who does not have the hands to make his own tentacle porn. After that, you were sent around the city to assassinate various survivors because the developers forgot the game needed to be more than 2 levels. You were able to track these survivors because they keep tagging themselves on Facebook with the GPS enabled. Boss battles in this game are long and drawn out. Your first instinct is to shoot everything in the face, much like in every other shooter. But upon seeing how useless it is to do that, your next best bet would be to stab it, because that one hits everything else in this game. About the time you get within the range to flip them the bird, the bosses promptly pin you to the ground and take your sweet rear end to Pound Town. After defeating said boss or allowing him to take advantage of you enough times he gets a conscience and slaps a ring on your dirty whore sewage pipe, you get to keep playing the game, which I feel like is a punishment reserved for only the most dastardly of people like me instead of a reward. The Delta team, because everyone has to be Delta since Gears became popular, in this one consists of Bertha the healer who liked to keep the wound from the last boss left open in my sphincter with her dirty needle, Beltway who blows shit up, Vector who can go invisible, Spectre who rhymes with Vector, Lupo who has the most depressing dialogue outside of Max Payne, and Four Eyes who is fucking useless. They move across Raccoon City, finding a tyrant who's gone rogue and injecting him with a second parasite to control him, just so he can go rogue in another month or so and be twice as difficult. And meet a friend who is Russian, so you can guess why he's here. That's right, to betray your stupid ass for being American. From then on, you were hunting for Leon before he started to go through his boy band phase. That's the only way I can describe his change in appearance. Claire Redfield, who still angers me on the same level as Ashley did in Resident Evil 4, and Sherry Birkin, who should not have made it this long. You can get one of 2 endings for the game. Either you kill Leon and Claire and kidnap the girl, probably to teach her how to one-hit kill everything she'll ever fight, or you let them go and find your own way out of the city. Either path requires you to kill half your team, and the other half I never quite trusted not to say fuck it and riddle your back full of lead the second you turned it. Then skip off into the sunset and become the villain in the next horrid spin-off of this franchise that never should have lasted past Part 5. I'm still waiting for the day PETA goes to Capcom's office and protests the hell out of this franchise for beating a dead horse until all that's left is a small patch of what could essentially be mistaken for tomato ketchup. That being said, there are a few points I will run over quickly. The aiming feels like you're a drunk person with autism trying to recreate the roof of the Sistine Chapel with one foul swoop. The AI on your team are so mentally retarded I'm surprised they did not all suffocate themselves with their own umbilical cords before they were born. And the melee is so overpowered you can take down the shit that made Resident Evil 2 Leon have a big brown stain in his skimpy cop outfit down in just one punch. Plus, you have to put down your own team more often than anything else to make it through a mission because they infect themselves like they're skipping naked through a dirty needle factory. Though after it's all said and done, this game will hold a special place in my memory as the most expensive coaster I've ever bought.